Is Ragatha gonna show her evil side in episode 5? I'm sure this is something we have all thought about after Gooseworks' tweet. And this is from a while ago after episode 2 came out, and we saw these shadow figures of Jax, Kane and Ragatha who were looking down at Pomni while she was falling down to the cellar abstracting. And now that we're past episode 4, we can understand better what Gooseworks might have implied, because in episode 4, after the stupid sauce got into Ragatha's eye, we could see a different side of her. Ragatha was finally honest, and the things she was honest about, like,
no offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
Or,
You are such a grouch.
Or,
Yo, Jax, I hate you.
these were not so nice. So in this video I'm going to talk about evil Ragatha and what exactly we can expect in episode 5, which is gonna focus on her as well as Jax. And at first, Ragatha seemed like the mom friend who was always looking out for everyone, and of course especially Pomni since she was the newest member. However, we could see from the very start that Ragatha is not entirely honest, or at least she holds back a lot. When Gooseworks was asked, how does Ragatha handle stressful situations, she said, by internalizing. And we could see that in episode 1, after she got beaten up by Kaufmo in the dorm hall, she asked for Pomni's help, but Pomni, as we know, went through the exit door instead of searching for Kane, essentially leaving Ragatha back. And after Kane brought Pomni back from the void and Ragatha crawled down from the dorm hall to the main area, we could hear her saying,
I am in so much pain.
And we could also see how there was tension between Pomni and Ragatha, but still, Ragatha didn't confront Pomni about it. Ragatha wanted Pomni to have an easier time than she did after spawning in, because in episode 2 we could see that Kingo remembered how Ragatha's first days went.
I remember how long it took for you to adjust.
And I'm thinking that maybe Ragatha was different when she spawned in. She was the second one to join the game out of the current circus members after Kinger, so it's possible that no one really knows what happened to her and how she was back then, except for Kinger. But as we know, he's not the most reliable narrator, except when he's in the dark and his memories come back. But what if Ragatha in her early days was more honest and mean? We could see a glimpse of that in episode 4 when she had little to no filter. And yeah, she wasn't as kind and careful as she usually is. So maybe it's possible that nobody really liked Ragatha in the early days, which is why she is now really fixated on the idea that everyone must like her.
I don't think she really likes me that much. But I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
Maybe something happened, like she might have faced the consequences for her honesty, which could have been a traumatic experience for her. So as a result, she realized that it's better if she just masks her true emotions, and that way she could survive more easily in the digital world. Because we could see in episode 1 that Ragatha was pretty close to losing all meaning when she really thought about her situation. So my guess is that she just represses everything instead and acts like everything is good, even if it's not the case. And so far, this is nothing crazy. We're all humans and we know that our emotions are very complex and it's hard to understand them and always act the right way. It's just not realistic, so it makes sense that Ragatha's character also has depth. And Gooseworks also had an interesting answer to the question. Is Ragatha really nice or faking it? Everything is likely more complicated than a simple black or white answer, meaning that Ragatha is not entirely good or bad. She is somewhere between the two ends, which is where most people are. But then what about evil Ragatha? I think it's important to realize that it's not necessarily about her becoming a villain in the traditional sense. It's clear that every character has their own way of coping in the digital circus, so Ragatha's episode and journey won't reveal a side of her that's the complete opposite of what we've seen of her. But instead, we will see the layers of her repressed emotions and unfiltered honesty getting peeled back. So my guess is that episode 5 will explore what happens when Ragatha is no longer able or willing to hold back. But as for what will happen to her, I think it's safe to assume that Jax will play a big part in Ragatha losing her positive facade. We already saw in previous episodes that there's tension between the two characters, and in episode 4 we could also hear them arguing pretty intensely. So it's possible that the new adventure could challenge the characters, like maybe they will have to play baseball against a group of NPCs, and there might be a significant stake, so the circus members members will have to win, but maybe Jax won't participate as he should, or he might even work against the circus members, risking their chances to win the game, and the potential consequences of their loss might make Ragatha snap. Or another possibility is that Jax could mock Ragatha, like maybe her kindness and willingness to help others, implying that this is all an act from Ragatha. But Jax might even accuse her of being too good to be true, which could plant the idea in Ragatha's mind that the others don't trust her or see her as genuine. And so this could be the moment where Ragatha snaps, finally unleashing all the frustration she's been bottling up since the very beginning. But at this point we cannot be sure what exactly will happen, but one thing's for sure: if Ragatha really loses her temper, that will lead to the whole group dynamic shifting, because Ragatha has always been the one that kept everything under control. And we could hear when Pomni said,
I'm sure Ragatha would like to help you out.
the circus members are counting on her as a stabilizing force, even though they might realize that she's not always honest. So this would definitely change how the others see Ragatha, and maybe they will even turn their backs on her, which then could lead to her completely losing it. And I'm honestly a bit worried about Ragatha, because when somebody asked Gooseworks, will Ragatha be okay after episode 5, she only said, and maybe this is not about Ragatha abstracting, because to be honest, that would be a bit too predictable. I think Ragatha's character is important in the show, and we will learn more about her because episode 4 really set her up for a big reveal. I think the stupid sauce will also play an important role in Ragatha's life. Maybe it will reveal something about her past, like how she could have been an addict in her human life, and now she found a digital version of the substance that could make her dissociate from her reality. Because even though she puts on a smile, we could see that Ragatha has just as hard time in the circus as anybody else. But we could see at the very end of episode 4 that Ragatha was still under the influence of the stupid sauce, and canonically it's only gonna be a day when the characters are going on the next adventure. So what if Ragatha will be hungover, or maybe she will have some withdrawal symptoms, which could cause her to be more irritable or impatient, and that will lead to her unleashing her unfiltered self once again, revealing the evil Ragatha Gooseworks hinted at. And I think this would be also interesting to see, because then there would also be a comedic undertone to her continued drunkenness/highness, while also portraying a very important struggle. But this could provide an opportunity for the other circus members to see a side of Ragatha they've never really understood before. Because up until now, they seem to view her behavior as puzzling at best and insincere at worst. Like how Gangle told Pomni how it's hard to tell how genuine Ragatha is. And this confusion about Ragatha's actions and intentions could be rooted in the fact that she never shows her true emotions. The circus members have seen her smile through situations that would break anyone else. And because of that, they likely assume she's either unnaturally strong or putting on a facade. But in reality, Ragatha has been internalizing everything just to keep herself and the group functioning. But if her struggle becomes more visible in this episode, it could serve as a wake-up call for the others. But either way, evil Ragatha is probably not gonna be about her becoming a villain. Instead, it's gonna be about her learning to embrace all parts of herself, even the imperfect ones. And this episode has the potential to be a turning point, not just for Ragatha, but for the entire group. But let me know what you think will happen to Ragatha and what evil Ragatha could truly mean down in the comments. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.